Nobody left me money, so I became my own trust fund. And I'm about to show you exactly what that's made of. Net worth. Can we talk about that word for a minute? Because for most of my life, I thought net worth was a word for other people. Rich people had net worth. People on the business channel had a net worth. People whose parents left them something had a net worth. But me, I had bills. I had a paycheck that was already spent before it landed on my account. Nobody left me anything, and nobody was coming to catch me if I fell. So I never once sat down to look at my number. Why would I? I already knew that it would hurt if I look at it, and then one simple question changed all of that. Let me tell you what happened. I hired a professional to help me with my retirement. The same person who helped me move my pension and my 401k over so everything could live in one place. And we sat down to talk about what's next, contributing consistently, what goes where, all of that. And I'm asking him, okay, so what's the dollar amount? Give me the number. And this man looked at me and asked me a question that I was not ready for. He said, well, what is your everyday life costing you right now? What is the lifestyle that you actually want to live so that we can figure out what it would cost? I did not have an answer, not a guess, nothing. And he told me gently, before we can even talk about your retirement number, we need to know what's happening with your money right now. Where is it going? Is it building the life that you actually want? Because all of that decides the number. So I went and I looked, and I'm going to be honest with you, there was a lot of shame in that looking and a lot of embarrassment. And I realized that I had been avoiding my own numbers for years, not because I couldn't do the math, but because I was afraid of what the math would say about me. And here's what I found out, and this is the whole reason for this video. Net worth is not a rich people word. It is just math. Simple math at that. And it is buildable at any age from any starting point. Zero, below zero, does not matter. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what net worth actually is in plain words and the 4 moves that raise it when you're starting from nothing after 50 years old. Because nobody left me money. So I became my own trust fund. And I'm going to show you how that gets built. Okay, first, let's take the fancy off this word, because the fancy, I feel that that's what keeps us away from it. Net worth is one piece of subtraction. What you own minus what you owe. That's it. That's the whole mystery. What you own, whatever is in your savings, your retirement account, your car, whatever it is worth today. If you have a home, the part of it that's actually yours, all of that, add all that up. What you owe, the credit cards, the car loan, the personal loans, what's left on the mortgage, add that up too. What you own minus what you owe, one number. Let me make it real with some easy numbers for you. Say a woman has $8,000 in savings, a car worth $10,000, and $15,000 in an old retirement account. That's $33,000 that she owns. Now, say that she owes $6,000 on the car and $12,000 on credit cards. That's $18,000 that she owes. $33,000 minus 18. Her net worth is $15,000. That's it. No finance degree, no spreadsheet with 40 tabs, just subtraction. And here's the part that changes everything. So listen close. That math has 2 sides, which means there are 2 ways to raise your net worth. You can grow what you already own, or you can shrink what you owe. Paying off a debt raises your net worth the exact same way that savings does, dollar for dollar. The woman in my example, she pays $500 on those credit cards. Her net worth just went up $500, same as if she'd saved it. Nobody teaches us that. We think building wealth only means adding. Sometimes building wealth means subtracting. And one more thing before we get into the moves. Your number might be 0 today. It might be below 0. And I need you to hear me. A number, you know, it beats a fear that you don't. Every single time. If somebody finally just explained that to you in plain words, I want you to subscribe, because that's what we do here. Now let me stay honest about the part that I was avoiding, because I know some of you are living it right now. I wasn't avoiding my numbers because I was lazy. I was avoiding them because of shame. And somewhere in my head, that number wasn't math. It was a report card on my whole life. 50 years old, worked hard my entire life, came to this country and built everything alone. And I was scared one little subtraction problem was going to look up at me and say, it wasn't enough. But here's what I learned, and I wish somebody had told me this years ago. So much of the stress that I was carrying was not coming from the money itself. It was coming from not knowing what my money was doing. The not knowing was the weight. You cannot plan retirement on top of not knowing. You cannot build wealth on top of not knowing. You can't even rest on top of not knowing, because the unknown, it follows you to bed. So the decisions that you avoid, they don't disappear. They just wait. And they come back to bite you in the butt when you least expect it. So today we stop avoiding. 4 moves. Here we go. Move number 1, face the number, all of it, especially the debt side. When I finally looked at what I owe, that side, that was the hard one for me. Because how are you going to talk about retirement? How are you going to talk about building wealth when you have this monkey on your back that you refuse to even look at? And trust me, the monkey, it costs you. Not just interest, it costs you stress. It sits on your shoulder like a secret. And here's what facing it actually did for me. Facing my debt did not make it disappear overnight. Let me not lie to you. It's still a process. But the day I wrote those numbers down, something shifted. It stopped being a surprise living in my life. It stopped being this deep, dark secret I was carrying around. I got on the driver's seat. I had a plan of action instead of a lot of fear. So that's your first move. And it costs $0. One piece of paper, 2 columns. On one side, what you owe, and on the other side, what you own. Write down every single thing, even the ugly ones, especially the ugly ones. The card that you stopped opening the statements for, it goes on the paper. The medical bill sitting in the drawer, on the paper. Because a debt that you won't look at doesn't cost less. It just charges you stress instead of only interest. And when you get your number, whatever it is, I want you to say one thing out loud. Okay, now I know. Not, oh no, now I know. Because that number is not your worth as a woman. It's your starting line. And you cannot steer a car from the trunk. Get in the driver's seat. Move number 2, start shrinking the money that you owe on purpose. Remember the 2-sided math? Every dollar of debt that you pay off raises your net worth exactly like a dollar saved. So if your savings account looks small right now, hear this. You might already be building wealth every month and not even know it. Because paying down debt is building wealth. Nobody claps for it. No confetti. But the math is counting, I promise you. Now, there are different ways to attack debt. Some people, they knock out the smallest one first for the win. Some people, they go after the one with the highest interest first because it is the most expensive. And that conversation deserves its own full video, so I'm going to make it for you because you deserve more than a drive-by answer. But the number one thing is this: you cannot attack what you refuse to look at. So pick one approach, put it in the plan, even if it's slow. Slow with a plan beats fast with a fantasy. And listen, even if you cannot pay it off fast, you're okay. This is not a race against anybody. The monkey doesn't jump off in one day, but every payment, it gets a little lighter. And one day you look up and your shoulders feel different. All right, move number 3, grow the own side. Small and consistent, it beats big and someday. The word my retirement person kept using was consistent, not big, consistent. Contributing something on a schedule every single time, whether it is a lot or a little, because the own side of your net worth is not built in one dramatic move. It's built like a wall, one brick, then another brick, on a schedule that your future can count on. And here's a move that raised nothing and changed everything. I gathered my money into one place. My pension from an old job, my 401k, it moved over where I can see all of it together. Because let me tell you something about us. We have little pieces of money scattered all over the place. An old retirement account at a job from years ago, a little pension that you forgot even you even earned. Baby, go get your money. All of it. That money is yours. You cannot count what you cannot see, and you cannot grow what you do not count. So something automatic going to savings or retirement every month, even if it starts embarrassingly small, and everything gathered where you can see it, that's the whole move. And if you just remember an old 401k sitting at a job that you left, subscribe and then go get your money. Move number 4, go back to that question that I couldn't answer in that office. What does your life cost? And what do you want it to cost? This is the one that nobody puts in a net worth video. And it's the one that changed a lot, or even the most, because you cannot plan anything, not retirement, not wealth, nothing until you know your lifestyle number. What does the life you actually want cost per month? Not the internet's life, yours. Let me show you mine because I want you to see how personal this is. Healthcare is on the top of my list. After my surgery, after everything I went through with my fibroids, and I talk about that in another video, I stopped trusting the system to take care of me. So the part that I can control, I control. My supplements, my vitamin D, my massage, my stretching appointments, because I lift weights and this body has to last me. Now is not the time to be managing sickness. So yes, that costs money, and yes, it is in my budget on purpose at the top. And I used to feel ashamed about that too. Why am I spending all this money on massages? And then I stopped because I'm not leaking money. I'm funding my priority. There's a difference. A leak is money that disappears and you can't even tell what it bought you. A priority is money that you sent somewhere on purpose for a reason that you could explain to anybody. Same dollars, completely different life. The shame, it belongs to spending that you never choose. It does not belong to spending that you plan. Now, your list will look very different than mine, and it should. Maybe for your family, it's eating out together twice a week because that's your joy and your togetherness. Fine, beautiful. Put it in the number. The point is not what's on the list. The point is that you choose the list. You priced the list. And now you know what your life costs. That number is the foundation everything else gets built on. So here are all the 4 moves again. Number 1, face the number. What you own minus what you owe on paper, even the ugly parts. Get in the driver's seat. Number 2, shrink what you owe. Every debt dollar paid raises your net worth. Same as the dollar saved. Slow with a plan, it beats fast with a fantasy. Number 3, grow the own side, small and consistent, and gather every little account into one place so that you can see what's yours. Number 4, know your lifestyle number. Price the life that you actually want. Fund your priorities without shame and build. Fund your priorities without shame and build on that foundation. Now, some of you are going to ask me in the comments, Webley, what's your number? And I'm going to tell you with love, I am not sharing my number, but I will tell you something better. I'll tell you whose number I'm chasing. There's a book I think every single one of us should read, The Millionaire Next Door. And the whole idea is this. When people hear millionaire, they picture flashy, the designer bags, the red bottom shoes, the big cars. And listen, there is nothing wrong with having those things, as long as they are in your number and you can comfortably afford them. But that picture is why so many of us think that $1 million is not for people like us. We think millionaire means flash. The real millionaire is usually the person next door that you would never suspect, driving the paid off car that's 10 years old, living in the paid off house, retirement fully funded. And if something happens to them, their affairs are in order, the will is written, the trust is set up, everything is handled. Quiet money, boring money, free money. Meanwhile, you see celebrities pass away, big names, big earners. And then the news comes out that their finances were a complete mess. And everybody's shocked. How can that be? Because making money and building wealth are two different skills. And the second one is nowhere near as common as you think. Even people making plenty of money don't have wealth. So don't wait until you make more money to put your money in order. I hear it all the time. When I get the better job, then I'll get organized. When the kids are done, then I'll look at it. No. Whatever season that you are in right now, this season is the one that you get organized. Because if you can't manage the little, more money doesn't fix you. It just makes a bigger mess with more zeros. The habits they get built now at this size in this season, because at the beginning of this video, I told you nobody left me money. So I became my own trust fund. And now you know what my trust fund actually looks like. It's not red bottoms. It's a number I know, debts that I'm facing, money that I can see in one place, and a lifestyle that I chose on purpose. That's the trust fund. And every woman watching this can start building hers today. From zero, from below zero, from whatever this video found you. Now, before I let you go, I want you to do something a little different today. Because some of you have been writing to me in the comments saying, Webley, how can I work with you? And I've been thinking about the right answer to that. So here's what I'm doing. I'm opening my calendar 20 minutes, you and me face to face. And here's the part I need you to hear. This is not me selling you anything. This is me listening. You tell me where you are, what you're working through, what you're stuck on, because I am building some things right now, and I refuse to build something based on my guesses about your life. I want to build what you actually need. And the only way I know how to do that is to hear it from you directly. So the link to my calendar is in the description. There's a short form to fill out when you book. Just a few questions so I come to our conversations already knowing your situation. Spots are very limited because there's one of me and 24 hours in a day. So if this speaks to you, don't sit on it. And if a call isn't your thing, the budget freebie is right here in the description too. The exact 5 categories I use to know my lifestyle number. That's move number 4, handed to you for free. All right, if we have not met yet, I am Webley. I'm 51 years old, starting over out loud, building my own trust fund 1 week at a time. So subscribe if you are also building yours. And tell me in the comments, and be honest, have you ever been scared to look at your number? Just type facing it. If today is the day, I read every single one of your comments. And I will see you tomorrow.